Hi, I'm barbecue enthusiast Chris Patheiger.
I'm Chef Aidan Galligan, and this is Hogtown Barbecue, the show that profiles Toronto's best smokehouses.
And that is the longest lineup in Leaside. Every weekday, hundreds of people flock to Adamson's for a taste of their smoky Texas barbecue.
And we're going to show you why.
This is Hogtown Barbecue. An industrial park isn't where you normally see restaurants, and certainly not where you expect to see long lineups outside one. But that's because there's something special inside this basic building. Adamson Barbecue is the real thing. Owners Adam Skelly and Alison Hunt don't hide anything behind sauce or fancy furniture. They make Central Texas barbecue, big cuts, brisket, spare ribs, turkey breast, pulled pork, and sausage. Pitmaster Adam is a purist, while Alison is the realist.
Alison doesn't always like it, but I'll go to any length to make sure that we're cooking the best brisket that we can. Whether that's spending twice as much on the product, $1,500 bills for black pepper, whatever it is, we just try to make it the best that we can.
Well, it's just scary when you see a bill for $1,500 for black pepper. It's a lot of money.
When you cook things the right way, people can tell the difference.
The lineups are legendary. Doors open weekdays at 11 a.m. And if you wait too long to join the line, you just might be out of luck.
When you serve good food, people are willing to travel for it and wait for it, and they know that if they're not here right at 11 when we open the doors, there's a good chance that they're not going to get fed.
We're not a fancy, pretentious barbecue place. We're just here to serve really good meat that everybody enjoys for a few hours a day. And everybody likes eating meat cooked with fire, almost everybody. It's primal, it feels good, and it brings up positive feelings of warmth and the fact that you're about to eat a meal and be satiated.
Adam, so tell us about your signature dish.
We like to trim down a brisket to about 1/4 inch of fat on the top here.
Now, why do you trim fat off the brisket? I've always felt like fat is what makes the flavor.
Absolutely, but too much is not good. You don't want to have a bite where you get an inch thick layer of fat.
Don't you?
So, first thing we're gonna do here is start by taking off this big decal of fat at the bottom.
Why do you take that specific piece off?
Well, when I'm carving this later, and if I slice the brisket and somebody gets this big chunk of fat in their mouth, that's not a very good feeling.
Okay.
And that fat, it won't render out during cooking?
No, sir. Not this thick, hard fat on the bottom of the brisket. All right, guys, well, that brisket's trimmed up and ready to go.
So how do you season it?
All right, well, we're gonna start with equal parts kosher salt and black pepper. And that's all we use here in the restaurant.
So why would you use kosher salt? What's the significance of the type of salt that you use?
Well, I'm not too worried about the kosher certification.
Yep.
It's that you've got nice flakes of salt in big pieces. So we're gonna start with kosher salt and black pepper. This is 1428 mesh black pepper. That means that there's some coarse pieces and some fine pieces. So we're gonna go 50% black pepper and about 50% kosher salt. Gonna mix that up. That'll go into our shaker bottle. Pretty slick, eh?
It's nice, you got it.
All right, so here's our brisket. This is what I call brisket pre rub. This is half yellow mustard and half pickle juice. So we use this to help the rub adhere to the brisket.
Cool. And does it add an extra dimension to the flavor
Nope.
as well, or is it purely just for making the spices adhere?
Not at all. It's just to make the spices adhere to the brisket. All right, so we're gonna start with all the edges. Kind of just bounce the seasoning off my hand a little bit. We like a lot of salt and black pepper on our briskets here. Now, while this is called a dry rub, there's not really a lot of rubbing involved.
Well, why is that? Why do they call it a rub?
There. I don't know, do you?
No.
All right.
Sounds better than sprinkle, I suppose.
I suppose it does.
There you go. I think this one's ready to go in the cooker. We'll hand this over to Matt and he'll show you how we cook a brisket.
Awesome.
So we're gonna open up the cooker. So what we have is a firebox over here, and when you're cooking a brisket, you want consistency, you want consistent heat, you want consistent airflow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the brisket, and we're gonna load it point side towards the firebox. The reason we wanna do that is because there's a nice layer of fat, and it's gonna protect the meat. Fat side up is always what you wanna do.
Awesome.
And what temperature do we have here?
We cook at 243. That's the bus number to Flavortown, buddy. We want to do everything by feel. That way it really kind of solidifies us and it helps make sure that we are always pulling off consistent brisket. So when we're cooking it, let's say this brisket will probably take around 12 hours, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Every brisket has a mind of its own. Once we start seeing a nice color on top of the brisket, once we start seeing the outside can kind of start to dry out a little bit, this is apple cider vinegar, Worcestershire, and water. It's nice and simple. It's not gonna add too much flavor to it, but you're gonna add, rather than just adding straight water to the meat, you're gonna get a little bit of flavor, but you're not gonna overpower the flavor that you really wanna get from the barbecue. So the brisket's been on for about 8 hours. So you can see nice color on it. What we're gonna do right now is we're gonna wrap it. So we're gonna transfer it over here. We got some unwaxed butcher paper. It's the best thing to wrap your brisket with. You can find it at most butcher stores, but you gotta make sure that it's unwaxed. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw it back on the cooker.
It's like Christmas.
Just like Christmas. Close it up. And we're gonna wait probably another 5 or 6 hours. All right, guys, let's take a look at this brisket. Okay, so what I really want to be feeling for over here, I want to feel the point. It feels really nice and soft. I feel like I can almost, if I put a lot of pressure on it, I can almost stick my hand right through there. Feels nice and jiggly. I would say this bad boy's done.
All right, guys, so Matt just finished up cooking this beautiful USDA prime brisket. You ready to take a look?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. Like we said, I'm gonna start cutting from the lean end of the brisket first. You can see the knife just runs through it just like butter.
Oh my God.
And that's the fatty.
Oh,
It's
wow.
beautiful.
That's my favorite part right there.
Yeah, me too.
I'd say that's the best part on the whole brisket.
Yeah.
I'd say if you want to eat it like they do down in Texas, grab a piece of white bread and have a bite with some pickle and white onion. That'll probably be the best bite of barbecue you ever had in your life.
Right on. So should I put some barbecue sauce on it?
No. Save that for dipping. Look at that. You can almost see the reflection of your beautiful face in there.
I can see my face in there in about a minute.
Yes.
Would we use cutlery for this?
I think you got a fork right at the end of your arm.
Yeah, good point.
Cutlery.
What do you think, guys?
Mercy.
And here, if you want a pro tip, you take your white bread, it's pretty much like an edible napkin. You get the brisket grease from the cutting board.
A little board dressing.
It's not a health food shop. You got a little something on your chin. There you go.
There'll be more.
All right. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for a nap.
We serve everything on trays, just like how they do it down in Texas, and you get to see the meat being cut right in front of you, and we place it, like we have a certain way that we place all the meat on the trays, and then the sides, it's just all very simple, but it looks beautiful. It's really nice to look at.
I've been watching you guys. You've only been eating for about 40 seconds, and this is all gone. What the hell happened?
Can't help ourselves. It's amazing stuff.
Turkey was the best part. I'm not kidding. I've had turkey forever.
Like this turkey here,
Like
as
this
an
turkey.
example?
It's
Awesome.
delicious. It's the best turkey I've ever had.
I had some brisket earlier, and I don't know how it happened, but I got some under my watch. Let's talk a little bit about the meat sweats.
Well, thankfully they have very large towels. Perfect. So very easily slip away.
Hello? Is this thing on?
At 10:30 I leave with a lineup. I come back at 12:30 with a lineup. At 1 o'clock the sign goes up, closed.
Yeah, so sorry, 10:30 in the morning. You're leaving work to go eat plates of barbecue. That's amazing. You know your wife is right here, right?
So where are you guys from?
We flew in from Montreal yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Heard about this place, and this was one of our top destinations to visit while we were in Toronto. We're
Nice.
big barbecue fans.
Amazing.
We were talking, and we kept saying, no, that was my favorite. No. Actually, the turkey was my favorite. No, I like the sausages. The sausages were my favorite. It's all really, really good.
This was the best barbecue I think we've had in Canada.
Hey, what are you doing? That's mine. That's my rib.
Adamson Barbecue is located at 176 Wicksteed Avenue in the Leaside Industrial Park.
They open at 11 a.m. and they close when the meat runs out.
For more information, you can check us out on our website at www.hogtownbbqtv.ca.
I'm Chef Aidan Galligan.
And I'm home cook Chris Patheiger.
See you next time.
Whereas I get to do the fun stuff. I get to trim the meat and cook the meat and teach our guys how to use the smokers. This one's seasoned up and ready for the cooker. Let's pass it over to Matt, our cook, and he'll show you how we cook the brisket.
Great.
I just said cook like 4 times in that sentence. This is really weird for me, guys.
Yeah.
This is really weird.